which is a Yoruba greeting asking that you have good health and be at peace with your neighbor. Today, we are looking at how prophecy, ancient prophecy, informs the present. And in my tradition, the Yoruba tradition, I am what's known as an Iyanifa, a mother of destiny, which means I am trained in a number of ways to help people to fulfill the best of their destiny. I recently published a book of our ancient tales called A Calabash of Cowries, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Times. And I want to read one of the signature stories for you, and we can talk about the message in the question and answer section. So we always begin with a song. Enuaye mi Moshe o. Enuaye mi Baba. Enuaye mi Moshe o. Enuaye mi Baba. O batala tawini sekure bobo ainya serere baba serere o bobo ainya serere baba serere o bobo ainya serere. Oh, well, you may not remember me. I am 40 days older than Dust. I was there at the very beginning. I'm the one who raised the mountain up and set the valley low. You see, in the beginning, there was just the two of us, me, Iyanla, and the old man, Obatala. One day he went all over the universe throwing stars and planets and doing what all. And then he looked down and saw that blue ball, the one y'all call Earth. But back then it was covered in water. And he got a mind to come down on a glittering chain of golden light with a bag of soil and a five-toed hen. And he dropped that soil on the water, and the hen scratched the continents into place. A few trees grew up, volcanoes erupted, things like that were going on. And he made a few animals. It looked pretty good to him, so he decided to go on about his business. And I said, wait, Baba, don't you think something else needs doing here? And he said, well, if you think so, yeah, do it yourself. So I took a great big calabash and I got some dirt from the north and the south, the east and the west, and I poured in ocean, river, and rain. I mixed that clay, tossed that clay, and I pinched, twisted, and patted that clay, and then I shaped it. And when I looked at my sculptures, I had made the model of a human being. And the first ones were kind, intelligent, and beautiful. I was so proud of myself. I sat down on that planet and I sang, Olorifa, Yoku Yogbi. Well, it was so much fun that I went over to the palm tree and I tapped myself a jug of palm wine and I drank. Oh, oh, mm. And then I gathered up some more clay and I twisted and I turned and I patted and I shaped. Then I formed them into some more human beings. Well, the next batch of humans were kind, but not so intelligent. But that was okay because they were beautiful. And I took another drink. Low, low, low. Then I took up more clay. And oh, I twisted and turned and tossed it and shaped. I shaped them and I put them down. And oh, well, at least they were kind. So I took another drink. Low, low, low. And I took up more clay and I pinched and twisted and shaped and slapped and I put it down and well, you get the picture, don't you? And then I fell into a drunken stupor and I slept for 1,000,000 years. While I was asleep, Baba came along. He looked at these clay figures and he scratched his beard and he said, well, I guess that's what she wants. And so he took a deep breath and blew the breath of life into all my creatures. Many, many years passed and I slept and slept and slept until I heard a noise. It was a loud sound, like a scream. I opened my eyes and I looked down at the planet and there were all my creatures. And they were yelling and screaming at each other. All my creatures were throwing sticks and rocks at each other. My creations began to tear down the trees. My creations were killing the animals. And I ran to Baba and I said, Baba, do you see what's happening on earth? What shall we do? And he said, they're your creations. You do what you want to with them. I looked down at the humans and I said, you all, please, please stop fighting. Please stop fussing. Please stop killing. Please stop destroying. But they didn't hear me. I said, please stop. I gave you life and I'll take it away. And just as I raised the finger that would destroy all of creation, I heard a sweet sound. Somebody laughed. And I saw one of my creatures who was strong, helping one who was weak. And the one who had plenty was giving to the one who had nothing. And yet another was planting trees and helping animals. And then I heard a wondrous sound, the wondrous sound of musical instruments and voices singing, and people were dancing. And I said, oh, oh, are you the children of the first sober making? And someone said, yes, yeah. Are you the ones who will help those in need? And another one said, yes, yeah. Are you the ones who will restore the beauty of the earth? And a chorus of them responded, yes, yeah. Will you make music and dance? Yes, yeah. Of course, yeah. Yeah, we will. And their beautiful voices were so clear that I stretched my arms to embrace them. Well, if there are more of you than there are of them, I said, pointing a trembling finger, as long as the children of the first sober making continue to still the hands of the children of my drunkenness who are not kind, not intelligent, not beautiful in spirit, as long as the children of the first sober making are willing to do the work, there's no need for me to destroy the earth. Are you a child of the first sober making? If you are, please say, yes, Iya. And if there are enough of you, I won't have to destroy anything. So I think I'll have another drink. Oh, oh, oh. Are you a child of the first sober making? If so, say yes, Iya. Hold up your hand and say yes, Iya. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Yes, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, do you want me to talk about this story now or later? Now?
Let's do it now.
Okay. So, this book of mine, A Calabash of Cowries, is a series of returned tales. Okay. So, in this story of Obatala mistake, returned for modern times. In the original tale, Obatala, the maker of humans, drinks palm oil, palm wine, during the creation process. He becomes so drunk that humans are created with congenital deformities, bone malformations, and hereditary mental diseases. In Yoruba culture, people with these conditions are sacred to Obatala and can be found congregating in front of his shrine in Ile Ife, where they receive donations of food and money. Food scarcity leads to malnutrition. In pregnancy, polluted water contaminates the bodies of children. The cruelty of conquest and colonization leads to transgenerational trauma. This may account for the content of the original tale. But the deformities of our times are violence, greed, hatred, and the ism brothers, racism, sexism, elitism, and so on. So I've created a returned tale to preserve the myth's original meaning and to emphasize its meaning and relevance for modern times. Here, the creation of the humans is shared between Iya and La, the divine feminine, and Obatala, the sacred masculine. Please be one of the children of the first sober making. Help us to preserve life on earth. Obatala's mistake, revisited for modern times.
Thank you, Luisah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to bring a story from the mother herself, because as I understand it, the mother passes on her protocols of the earth. And these protocols tell us how to walk on this planet in a gentle way, in a way that sustains life and holds all life as sacred. She also passes to the original people prophecies that unfold and are carried by the generations for forever, from the beginning of the original time, you see. So the story the earth wants me to bring to you today is a story about how there was a moment when there was great earth changes. North America, South America, and Central America were one piece of land. And then the big change came, and she shook and she changed, and those two lands broke apart. So there was North America and South America and the connecting space of Central America. It was during this time that they say the eagle condor prophecy began. For you see, the people, when the land was torn apart, the people were torn apart as well. And those in the north, they said, would travel with the eagle that would bring energies and thought and electricity and the lightning movement of air. And then the people of the south, they would be caught by the condor, who would bring a sense of heart amongst all the people. They said that at a certain time, the eagle would almost overpower the condor. But just at that moment, they would begin to fly together. And when they began to fly together, then that is the moment of the big turning, a time of prophecy. They said, listen well now. Now the Kogi brought us together in a circle of just a small circle of indigenous peoples, and all from people that served them, all from all over the world in 2013. And they opened up the next level of this prophecy. They said that the ending would fall into the beginning in 2026. That's very close, you see. They said that we must prepare ourselves for the next 13 years, from 2013 to 2026. It was going to be an intense time of cleansing like never before. They said that during this time, it was important to watch the ending as it fell down so that we stay informed, but to stay focused on that which was breaking through. And that which was breaking through was carried on the original principles and protocols of this Mother Earth. Those principles and protocols of compassion and heart, collaboration, reciprocity, tolerance, unity, heart, and all life is sacred. So the ending is falling into the beginning in 2026. And all of you that have answered that call that Luisah just shouted out, you are some of the first making of that sober making. And you have awakened in this moment in time because you have been here before when the earth went through her turning. You see, every 26,000 years, she does a major turning. And we're in the very last part of that time, that cycle. So things didn't go wrong. Things only cycle to the ending that it is, so that we can now open to the next 26,000 years that will be heralded in by what the prophecies say is called the new dawn. So the new dawn is landing now on all of us, and it's not so comfortable because it pushes out all those things that were false in this last part of her making. The Mother Earth is in a making moment as she prepares for her ascension into this new cycle of time. When they say that we will move from those bottom chakras into the heart chakra and the ascension begins. So it's not an easy time. It takes a courage to arrive here and be here now in this present moment. It takes a trust rooted in the understanding that the present moment is where we live in harmony with ourselves. For our minds get still and our heart's energy opens itself and the intelligence lights our way. So what I want to show you was we took a journey across the UK some years ago, and a filmmaker went with us. And he's making a film as we speak that will certainly find its way to you in longer form. But I wanted to give you a taste of the story that's evoking itself in our present moment. So Leah, could you play that little video for us. It's called Are You Listening?
I sure will. I'm just going to do the last stage of bringing it up. And in this moment, it's what a profound experience to get to just settle into how is that story living in you? And what is it to hear another expression of what's happening in the world that's outside of the realm of news and information? Okay, I'm bringing this up. Okay, guys, I'm almost technically capable. There we go. Can you nod if you can hear it well?
Can't hear it.
Okay,
There it goes. There it goes.
you can hear it. Let me just fix one more thing in case that I can.
Technical moments. You see, it's all part of this creation too, huh?
We get to look at how are you in your relationship to patience, compassion, and empathy. Hold on, I'm almost there again. Let's do this again. Thank you for your patience. And here we go. I guess I'm trying to make it big for you so you can get the greatest pleasure out of the experience. Okay, here we go. Thank you for your patience.
Bendithi Kilcacht gus mó siol nandri.
Gratitude for this opportunity to be here in this incarnation upon this planet. Gratitude to the gift of life we've been given, to all our ancestors lined up behind us. We are the reality of their dreaming.
Let us come together in one mind, as one heart, and one body. Ay ay. Hatung ako kamba usa tami manyani. Sumag yueta, sumag shungutan yu pancik takui.
My name is Jyoti. I'm one of the wisdom keepers, an amazing circle of beings that have come from all different parts of the world because we were called here. Our First Nation peoples have a way of life that is sacred and has been given to them by this Mother Earth and Father Sky, and it is the remedy of this time. That I am sure of.
Personas que viven con la nueva tecnología es que están muy separados de la naturaleza. Hace que no puedan tener ese viaje con el corazón, la mente y el espíritu.
それを教えていたのが先住民族であり、長老たちであり、シャーマンたちでした。本当にその意味を知ってる人たちがもう隠れていないでもっと表に出てきた。
Our mother is crying. She is literally crying to her children for help.
The message that she brings today is, are you listening?
Allow yourself to feel. ríos, la contaminación de los océanos, el fuego en la Amazonía. Los desastres naturales están viniendo. ¿Cómo es posible que la gente no puede sentir o ver eso?
We are listening. You have called us to wake up in this time. Help us stay strong so we can march forward now on a planet with one heart.
We're able to feel through direct experience what it's like to come together like our ancestors once came together, to reflect, to pray, to listen.
Es por eso los indígenas estamos viajando a muchos lugares para poder ayudar, para que la gente pueda conectarse con la naturaleza y especialmente con su corazón.
Are you listening? I think you are, or we wouldn't all be in this circle together now. So with that said, maybe, Leah, if it's all right, I would really love to get some questions or inspirations or stories from those that have gathered with us at the table today. Let us flow a story together, because we're all the making of a new one.
I think the thing for us to look at is the two questions that have come up today. Are you a child of the first sober making? And are you listening? Are you listening? You know, we see the result of Mother Earth's disappointment and wrath. We are at that place in the story where she's about to raise her finger and destroy all of creation. But she sees the children of the first sober making repairing the damage of the others. Are you a child of the first sober making? What are you doing that lets you know that you are one of those? And are you listening? Do you hear what she's saying? And what will you say to her? That's what I want to know.
You can raise your digital hand for those who want to share and speak. That helps us identify you and become part of this conversation.
Oh, I should tell folks that I love volunteers, you know, and I pick on shy people. So if you're sitting there thinking, ooh, I ain't got nothing to say, it puts a big flashing red light over your head, and then I end up calling your name. But I do see Mark has his hand up. How you doing, Mark? What you got for us?
Oh my goodness, I'm just going to give back what you gave to me. And the most amazing thing has happened to me this morning. My heart is racing because before this call came on, I wrote this. Thank you for this ponderance. Such is the conundrum of life. Taking it in, then letting it out. Here is the membrane, expanding into itself and outward, encompassing more perspectives. We know how to breathe. Do we know how to listen? Herein we become the remembering. Thank you both for giving me this gift. I had no idea why it came, but now I do.
Yes, you do.
Beautiful.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, things like that happen when we are tuned in. You know, you were listening. You heard before it was said. And
think
that
that's
is
the thing.
beautiful.
I think that's what's happening in the world. I think we're becoming able to attune in a greater way than we could have ever imagined before. And I'm bearing witness to it. And this morning was just got me racing because of it. Thank you.
Ashe, Ashe. Wait a minute. I see Kariana.
Yes, perfectly said. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you. Deep gratitude to both of you for your sharings, your stories, your wisdom. I'm just so blown away. I have been sitting here and could tell I needed to speak. I needed to share something. Years ago, I caught a song from the land that asks, "Are you listening with your inner ear of your heart?" So hearing you share the question of that amazing video and of these times, are you listening? I know the songs that I catch from the land are meant for more than just myself. And I've been nervous about sharing them. I don't have a trained voice, etc. But I know I have to go beyond that. I need to share them. I need to share them regardless.
Okay, no trained voice. Your voice, her voice. Right? So my next question is, when do I get my CD?
Oh. I will get the songs out there. I'm actually I work with children, connecting them to nature, and I'm starting my own business to work with adults as well, to bring them out into the natural world and connect with all parts of them, body, mind, heart, and spirit, in many different ways. And that starts this September, the end of this month. So I will bring my songs. I will bring them as part of that program, and the stories and different experiences. So I am doing, but it's taken the universe a little bit of nudging to get me out there, but I'm doing.
Okay. Well,
and this is giving me
consider
that
this a
extra nudge.
positive
Thank
nudge.
you.
Are you going to sing for us now?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Jump right off and fly.
I don't know if I have the words in front of me. It's been a while since I remember that song. Can I raise my hand a little bit? If I can find the words, I will sing.
Yes.
Okay.
We will see your hand up shortly.
Okay.
Okay. I see a hand up for Melissa.
I want to presence that there's a question coming in from Keegan in the chats where she's asking, Luisah, can you talk about calling out to our ancestors and or the Orishas?
Yes, I will. Right after I hear Melissa.
Tatsmewi Inimlotuas. Good morning, my friends. My name is Melissa. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a descendant of the Umatilla, Nez Perce, Sauk and Fox, and Anishinaabe nations, Bear Clan and Thunder Clan. And I put in the chat that a lot of what you're talking about reminds me of our 8th fire prophecy in the Anishinaabe tradition. And that prophecy, you can find recordings of it online, but to give kind of an overview, this prophecy led the Anishinaabe people to our current home, which is in the Midwest, around the Great Lakes area. There were 8 prophets that came and gave our people these teachings about how to get to where we were going during the time of colonization, so that we could preserve our traditions and preserve our ways. And the ancestors and our elders are telling us that the time we're in right now is the time of the 7th prophecy, which leads us to the 8th prophecy. And that at the 7th prophecy, we have a choice to make between either following technology and this sort of way that takes us away from the earth, which is a lot of what we see happening in the world right now in society, especially in Western societies, I think. Or we have this option of following a spiritual path and returning to the traditions of our ancestors. And what the prophecy said is that a new people would come and we would travel backward to go back and pick up the pieces of our ancestors that were missing. And that if we were able to do that, the 8th and final fire would lead us to a time of peace. So I just want to share that because I'm reminded of how our ancestors across the planet have had these similar teachings and these similar stories, and that our elders are telling us that time is right now.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. You know, because you've said it all just in the most precious way as you ended, you know, that for me, because the original people have brought this line unbroken up into this present moment through all kinds of tests and tribulations. In my experience, through the courage of their hearts, their ability to persevere, their courage to carry on, and their dedication to this Mother Earth and the work she's asked them to carry. So I just want to thank you, first of all. And I want everybody to take a moment, if you don't know the sacred land you sit on, who those original people of that place was, take the time to find that out. I'm sitting here on the Pomo and the coastal Miwok people's territory, offering this work as the redwood trees inform as I'm trying to listen. I was also taken by Marilyn. You said, I was born deaf. I have heard a hummingbird for the first time. I have heard katydids for the first time, and they sing to me. I am listening. I hear. So thank you, all of you, for the inspiration that you're fueling my home fire with this morning. Thank you. I see we have another hand up, Luisah.
You see, you've become, there you are, you're unmuted.
I see that hand up, but I don't see a face. And that mic is muted. Hello. Hello.
Is it Sananan?
Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
You say it right. There you are.
Eve, hi there. I'm in my car, so I was just I've been listening driving across the west of Ireland. So beautiful to be live on the call. Usually I don't get to join live, but I'm very honored to see you both and to be with you all here. I would love to, if it's welcome, to share a little bit of a song that came to me a few years ago when I first found the Mother Earth delegation. And so, I had this plan to maybe try and post it to you, Grandmother Yoti, but it never quite happened yet because it hasn't been recorded. And but Jeremy, I know Jeremy and Miguel quite well. And so I think maybe one day it will get to you, perhaps. But in the meantime, it feels like maybe it's a good moment to share here without the guitar and everything, but sure, we'll give it a go. Oh, the dreams of the fires and the lights of the islands will rise up, and our prayers will be answered as we walk in beauty as one. Oh, the children and the elders will be gathered round the fire and they're singing songs. 'Cause we walk in beauty, we walk as one with peace in our heart. Oh, the dreams of the fires and the lights of the island will rise up, and our prayers will be answered as we walk in beauty as one. As one. Oh, the children and the elders will be gathered round the fire and they're singing songs. 'Cause we walk in beauty, we walk as one with peace in our heart. With peace in our heart. Suvna, Suvna.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
yeah,
Thank
Suavness
you.
is Irish for like it's like it means many things, but peace or tranquility really is like this prayer. So yeah, it was one full moon you did a gathering, and I was in Leitrim at the foothills of Slieve Éireann, which is the mountain they say the Tuatha Dé Danann landed in their ships in the sky. So I was living there, and yeah, very inspired and held by hearing the wisdom keepers and elders gathering in prayer, and yeah, really, yeah, it's lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was really sweet. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Kat, I see your hand up.
I am Kwakwakiwak from the Namkris First Nation, Alert Bay, off of the northern tip of Vancouver Island, British Columbia,
I love
Canada.
it.
And coming out of the pandemic, our youth were really speaking loudly to wanting to gather. We weren't allowed in our big house where we hold ceremony, and for 10 years I worked in special education and in teaching culture, language, singing, dancing in our school. We finally, in getting back into our big house and gathering together, it was bringing so much to our youth, and they really embraced getting back into singing and dancing. And then we were fortunate to have a musician come into our community with production skills, and he engaged with our youth, and they incorporated their love of rap music, etc., and incorporated, and we helped with our traditional songs. And they did a production. I tried to share it. I'm this experience, I didn't even know you could do Zoom breakouts and whatnot. I'm just like, oh, the kids have been trying to get me on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I glad you even
I'm
got me on
learning.
the Facebook, you kids. But now I'm a Zoomer, you guys. So, wow, global, whatever. I tried to share the YouTube production of the kids, and then it was videotaped as well. We did get the sound bite of the actual song, but then we got the video production, and we had this big celebration on our little island, which is actually only 3 miles from one end of the little island to the other long. It's just beautiful. I tried to share it. I just don't have the technology. It was some sort of strange, I don't know what it was, but please delete it. I don't know what it was I got on there, but it's just beautiful. And the kids now it's incorporating, I'm 55 years old, which is considered an elder in our culture. You got to step up and start behaving yourself, I suppose, which I don't like to do, but they just really, I am so proud of our youth. They really are the child of the first sober making. I just where we are heading towards 2026.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So I don't know how I
share.
can share. I don't know how to share that video of production of our Kwakwakiwak Namgris Indigenous youth production of
Is
their.
it a YouTube video?
It is a YouTube video. You can do a Google search or whatever you do on the Google. My papa
Can you put it in the chat?
I tried and it ended up being some strange. I was trying to do the paste and whatnots. I screwed it up.
Can you just put the name of it in the chat and then we can find it in the YouTube?
Okay, I will. It's called Numgees Quite the Life. And
That we will
do
spell
it
it
in the
correct.
Google, in the YouTube.
Because what you're doing is so amazing and wonderful, because the youth are the ones that now we've got to really support, giving them voice. And many of my elders are like Loretta Afraid Bear Cook. Certainly Luisah also has many things she's doing with the youth.
So Leah, hi, Leah.
Yes.
Maybe you as whatever you call this, a host of, that's what administrators of these things, maybe if you could try find it and post it in here and we could listen to it, because it's just amazing. Quite the life. It's in the YouTube.
So look and see, Tasha in the chat says, is this the link? Because she found one.
Yeah. So several people have found it. I just want to check because we have a couple more people that want to speak. We also are approaching.
Just so amazing.
I just want to give our facilitators a choice to decide how you want to maneuver into this next.
Well, I want to hear from the people who have their hands up, and I want to say the people who are asking, how do we connect to our ancestors and our orishas? I invite you to go to my website, click on the link tree. You'll see all of the classes and the ancestral season we have from October 31st through November 11th. We're going to be celebrating the ancestors every day. September 30th, I have a book party. I have a Patreon. There's a number of ways that you can begin that journey. So with the time we have left, I'd like to hear from the people who have their hands up. It looks like Adrian and then Stephanie. Yeah? Adrian?
Yes, thank you everyone so much. It's been so beautiful, all of this sharing. And I can't actually remember exactly what the invitation was of what to share into this, but what's been really coming up for me a lot lately, and I'm putting this out there to this group because I feel like this might be something that perhaps people in this group might be interested in joining in on, is that several years ago when I was in the Four Corners region of the United States, traveling through, there was Mesa Verde, which is like Tabletop Mountain. And there was this, the kind of the common archaeological story of that, I think it's, and all of this I have to look back into, and please forgive me for not knowing actually who were the people who lived on that land or any of that kind of thing. But the story that I came across, that was the official story, was that everyone was at war on the top. And then the reason that they built the cliff palace, was what they called it, down in the side of the cliff, was because it was a wartime and food. They could tell the people were going from having, eating deer to eventually eating rats, because they were running out of food. And then the person who I happened to have take me on the tour, he was an environmental historian, and he said that it was much more likely that there was 21 kivas and there were 21 tribes living on the top of the mountain at the time. And in this cliff palace, each one of those tribes, in his opinion, would have had a sacred place to figure out where to go. And that it was over an 80-year period that they spent tuning in, listening to their ancestors and listening to themselves, asking and listening. What is it that we need to do? Where do we need to go? And that has just been coming up so strongly for me lately as what I'm being asked to call together, and what I feel like what we all need to be doing is asking and listening. What do we need to do? Where do we need to go? And so I don't have a song. I'm not sure if that was part of the original sharing, but I just wanted to share that that this has been feeling really powerful, and everything to do with the prophecies, it just actually makes it feel even more potent right now, that in the next 2 years that we're asking and we're listening. And so yes, I look forward to being on that journey with whoever I'm with. Thank you.
Ashe. Thank you. Thank you. Stephanie, and then Olga.
Good morning, everyone. I'll try to keep it short. I know we're running low on time. Luisah, I've been a big fan of yours for a long, long time, and it's an honor to be present with you here today. And the story that you shared is deeply moving to me.
Ashe.
Because I did not grow up in a sober family.
I heard that.
And my people, my ancestors are not known for being sober people. And so a big part of my ancestral healing for like the last 20 years has been traveling that road and learning everything that I can about, you know, what does it mean to be a sober person on all levels. And I just am grateful that that's part of the conversation today. Am I a child of the first sober making, you know? And so part of my ancestral healing journey is getting back to that, you know, recognizing the traumas and the separation from the original way of being and connecting with the planet for all the reasons that happened 1,000 years ago. My people are also from the west of Ireland, so that was awesome to hear today.
Stephanie,
yeah.
Stephanie, listen to me, baby. Go to my website, click on the link tree and sign up. There's a course that starts tomorrow, Cracking the Ancestral Code 1, okay? That is a first step to the healing that you are looking for. You know, it's miraculous what happens when you get in community with other people who are looking to do that healing. It multiplies logarithmically. So I invite you to look into that. Even if you can't start immediately, we do record them, and there'll be testimonials from people who went through it with what kinds of healing came out of it. Yeah, you're not alone and you ain't crazy, so don't even trip on it.
Yeah, thank you. I feel complete. Thank you.
Don't even trip on it.
I know we only have a few minutes, so we'll have to be time oriented, but we've got Olga, and then it looks like our song is coming in.
Maybe we'll go out with our song. Olga, what's happening, baby?
Ladies, thank you so, so much. Your voices, the stories. Miss Leah, I love you. Thank you for creating this amazing summit. And my takeaway that's so helpful is a reminder that maybe we're not really being punished as bad children of Mother Earth. That maybe when I'm at the depth of my shame and shadow, when I'm at the bottom of the well, what comes through is this unconditional love, like, child, the seed of love is within you. All of it is coming in cycles, the 26 years, the 52 years, all of it is okay. Come home again. You can fall 1,000 more times and wake up and get up again. I love you. And it's what I'm taking away. And all the love you ladies have poured into it, it's the same love that sings inside of us. And we just sing together. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And, you know, I just reminded too, Luisah, that this is a circle of people we just need to have all in person with us in New York, because we've got a storytelling festival that was planned for this year. And because of the severe weather out in upper state New York, where we were headed with our elders, we had to postpone it. So we're just now in the planning stages. I'm getting ready to jump on my pony and I'll be traveling for a little bit. But when I get back, the first part of November, we'll be starting to put information up on our website at thefountain.earth, where you can push on the storytelling and it will bring you the information about how to connect and how to get the tickets to come in. It's going to be a fundraising for our Mother Earth delegation of United Original Nations, and come and sit and hold these traditional stories the way we're doing, the way Leah is done such a remarkable job, and I'm so humbled to be able to join you in this circle. I look forward to more dreaming and dream weaving. But I just want to do a shout out to all of you. Come to Upper State New York, near Albany is where we're going to be. It'll be in late spring, early summer, and I'll get that date to you soon. So with that, then maybe we can have this beautiful song as a way of closing.
See that, Kariana? Uh-huh. You're gonna take us out, baby. Come on.
I've only sang this once for children. Da 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 da. Whispering through the forests and fields, there's music, only open hearts hear. Listen, listen with your inner ear. Listen to Earth's love for all. Da 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 da. Whispering through the forests and fields, there's music, only open hearts hear. Listen, listen with your inner ear. Listen to the web of connection with all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kariana.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, Leah, for bringing us all together in this way and for all the sharing that happened tonight. It was a beautiful weaving. Stay strong. And remember, we're all part of the mother's making.
And stay away from that palm wine, y'all.
As heard here. I just want to say thank you all for coming and being with us today. Doesn't it feel good to get to be in the presence of story and song and more story and more song? And, you know, it is such a pleasure for me to get to see some of our alumni from the School for Sacred Storytelling, to see so many new faces. I just want to honor Olga. Olga was one of the very first people that stepped into the School for Sacred Storytelling, and she first walked in the doors and helped work behind the scenes to help us launch our very first semester. And, you know, everything, sometimes you just get to see the people, you know, that are in the front, but every story is made out of the wholeness of many threads being woven together, the stories of our lives, the story of how we live. And so we still do work exchanges. And so if that's something that calls to you, we love to add people to our team. I'm also just going to add that, you know, there are so many opportunities to continue being together. Now more than ever, we need to be together more and more in ways that bring out our humanness. And Jyoti just mentioned ways that you can gather in person in New York. Luisah mentioned her class that's coming up. You know, the School for Sacred Storytelling, we're launching an entire curriculum. And it's like, in the greatest expression of life, I say, I don't care where you go, but I say go somewhere where you get to commune, where it's not about perfection, where it's about rising in each other's greatness and remembering how to open up the portals of our greatest senses and beings for how to live through these times and not just survive, but thrive. You know, and I'm reminded of so many different stories about how to live through these times. And they say, you know, look to your left, look to your right, see who's beside you, and go on a great ride with them. And I'm also reminded of this story, and I'll say this, and the UN, I don't know why this story comes, but Michael Meade yesterday said, when a story comes to me, if I don't tell it, I'll be depressed for several days after. So as a cautionary tale, I'll share this very short story and end us out. I don't know where it found me, so I apologize to the gods of the stories. But it had to do with the United Nations going into a developing country that had just experienced massive genocide. and they were trying to do good. They were trying to help this tribe go through and manage the amount of loss that they had. And granted, what is the UN but made up of many different people of many different cultures coming in to impose whatever ideas they have on the culture that they're visiting. Oh, how complex is that? And so they brought them inside. They brought them inside into these white walled rooms and under like fluorescent lights. And the tribal members, as I remember it, looked at them and they said, "This is not how we grieve. We grieve with our bodies together through singing and dancing." And that's what they went on to do. And I think of that as a way of reminding us of the animal-bodied, known wisdom within us, that you don't go through hard times, you don't go through changing times, you don't go through, destabilizing times by yourself. You do it in community, and you do it by singing and dancing. So find your places. As I'm telling you this, all the dogs in my entire neighborhood are howling. I don't know what happened, but something to set it up. So I'm getting like this chorale of howling behind me. So may you find your voice. May you howl well. Thank you, Jyoti, for putting in the fountain earth. And we'll send links to everybody's offerings. What I'm going to tell you is that at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is in about 50 minutes, I'm going to be hosting an open house for School for Sacred Storytelling. So if you've been traveling with us and your whistle is wet and you want to understand more about how are we weaving the alchemy between earth and spirit and story together, it's one of my favorite things to introduce people to. So I would like to ask you to do what our tradition is here, which is to place into the chat, what did you receive? Can we feed our great storytellers, our great guides today? Can you tell them something that you're walking away with, something that you're anchoring in, how you're feeling in your body right now? What are you leaving this basket with? What do you want to keep on your own well? I'm thinking of our very first teacher today at the beginning of last year said, fill your well, call on your well. I'm hearing faith and purpose, connection, deep, profound connection, Mother Earth delegation. Yeah, encouraged by connection. Wow, there's a lot of connection going on. Love. Oh, gosh. And while you guys do that, I'm reminded of one more thing. We have our very last class of the summit. And we definitely, I can't pick favorites over here because every single one of these is my favorite, to be honest. But Celia Lario will be talking about how to express your irresistible eloquence, how to bring your passion and purpose in the word through language. It's a great class. She is an absolute master teacher in social impact and change and communications. And what a gift it is to have her be with us. So you have the email if you're here, but I'm gonna throw it in the chat box as well. So I'm going to invite you all to take yourselves off mute and to send these women off in great fanfare with great aloha and to wish them well.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now going to roll call.
Gratitude.
Many thanks.
Thank you. Kesla.
Sober love.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Wishing you all well, and we will see you somewhere in the pixelated spaces soon enough. Yeah, so I'll just wait a little bit longer. If anyone